Shout out to everybody. I just listened to Showbiz, the adult, talking about Canelo is the next Floyd Mayweather. This thought popped into my mind. You know, the thing with Canelo and Floyd is Floyd Mayweather used to say, I want to give the fans what they want to see, excitement. Did he? Did he? Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez goes in there and he gives the fans what they don't want to see. Mayweather and Canelo are victims of being, as Showbiz the adult says, too perfect, too good. Too good for boxing, too good for the sport. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Canelo Alvarez, as Showbiz the adult so correctly said, Canelo doesn't duck or dodge anybody. If you confront Canelo, Canelo gonna come at you. Canelo, when he became WBC champion, he told Oscar De La Hoya, I want Austin Trout. Oscar said, that's a dangerous fight. He said, I want Austin Trout. Give me Austin Trout. Austin Trout came off the win against Miguel Cotto. They got the fight. It was in Texas. Open score. Fight was going pretty good, even, until Canelo knocked down Austin Trout. Then Austin Trout got up from that knockdown and pursued Canelo. Canelo used his defense and could hardly be touched by Austin Trout. Counterpunching him. And spent the rest of the fight counterpunching Austin Trout. Austin Trout got in some shots, but for the most part, Canelo basically outboxed him. After that fight, the problem with that fight was the fight was pretty even going up to the time when Canelo knocked down Austin Trout. After Austin Trout was knocked down, the open scorecards had Canelo up by a wide margin, and Austin Trout needed a knockout to win the fight. That was the beginning of the hate for Canelo Alvarez. Austin Trout said he was robbed at the end of the fight. Canelo definitely won that fight, but he couldn't get the credit he deserved. Floyd Mayweather. I recall very vividly Floyd Mayweather speaking about, in the hype before the fights, it's very exciting. Floyd does all kinds of things. But I particularly remember Pretty Boy Floyd facing Zab Judah. And in that fight, I remember the hype before the fight actually happened. It was Richter scale. When the guys got in the ring and they squared off, Zab Judah knocked Floyd down, but Floyd kept on coming. And eventually he walked Zab Judah down systematically, broke him down, about to take him out of the game. Zab Judah hit him with a lower punch. But as systematic as that fight was, it wasn't extremely exciting. What do I mean by that? It wasn't a Manny Pacquiao fight. It wasn't a Nonito Donaire, Naoya Inoue kind of fight. Floyd had taken control of the fight after 4 rounds. And he was walking Zab Judah down and breaking him down. And then when Zab Judah hit Floyd with the low blow and Roger Mayweather jumped into the ring and there was this big melee, that was about the most exciting thing about the fight. Then when it proceeded back onwards, Floyd proceeded to box Zab Judah and get the win. He was not able to stop him. I remember that fight vividly because Floyd, before the fight, the build-up, the hype to the fight was incredible. You swear these guys were going to go in the ring and kill each other. But then, when the fight actually happens, it's systematic, controlled. One fighter has dominance over the other. But not in such a manner that he's really, really mashing up the other fighter that everyone can visibly see, even though he's doing that. Not only breaking the guy's skill, but breaking his will. But it's hard to see because it's in increments. I remember Pretty Boy Floyd at super featherweight. I remember especially his fight with Angel Manfredi. I remember how Intangible Boxing, all right. Which stream is that? You going to put out the stream, Intangible? I'm hopping on the stream to debate this dude who said Tank was better pound for pound than Tanaka. You better not duck me. Okay. You're going to be hosting it? Cool, man. Like I said, I remember the Angel Manfredi fight. Exciting. Angel Manfredi wasn't knocked out when Floyd was hitting him, but Floyd was starting to crash him. Okay? I thought the referee stopped the fight too soon. But the point is that Floyd, we didn't see even in the Zab Judah fight. Floyd was so systematic and surgical with his movement. The channel is called D and GB's Debate Cage. Okay, cool. I'm going to try and show up in there to see it. The controlled way in which these guys box, the science behind what they do, Floyd and Canelo, is what makes other people feel that the other boxers who are not behaving like themselves must be under some sort of pay or something. Manny Pacquiao wasn't Manny Pacquiao against Floyd Mayweather. There were excuses, the shoulder excuse, etc. Sergey Kovalev wasn't Sergey Kovalev against Canelo. Triple G wasn't Triple G against Canelo. Canelo was walking Triple G down. Floyd was walking out vicious Victor Ortiz, sucker punching him in the end, not brilling fans in favor for that because of its unsportsmanship behavior. But beautiful boxing. Floyd walked down Shane Mosley and beat him up, but he couldn't knock him out. Larry Merchant commenting, one is beating up the other, but he doesn't have the power to knock him out. The other one has the power, but he is getting beaten up. Larry Merchant giving an anticlimactic speech. The strange thing is, Floyd gave Shane Mosley such a beating that he never was the same. But it didn't look that way. As sharp as Floyd's punches and counters were, because he wasn't dropping Mosley, it didn't look like Floyd was beating the crap out of Mosley, which he was. Canelo, ripping body shots to Kovalev and GGG, Jacobs, backing all of them up, including Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Rocky Fielding, all bigger fighters than him. He was accused of pulling up smaller fighters up from the lower weight classes upward, guys like Josecito Lopez, never minding that Canelo actually came from that weight class, the super lightweight, and spent a good portion of his career at welterweight. Nonetheless, they accused him of pulling these smaller guys up in weight, even calling Shane Mosley a smaller guy and over the hill, when Shane Mosley was actually, he campaigned at both super welterweight and welterweight. I thought that when Canelo faced Cotto, who was the middleweight champion of the world, they spoke about how big Canelo was to Cotto. And yet Cotto performed very well. But I can understand the hate for Canelo. I can understand the hate for Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is a character outside the ring that's outspoken. Canelo not as outspoken, but also having the flashiness, the flashy cars, the style, the jewelry. Canelo being the person who can fight Mexican style, but chooses to box. Mexican style, I'm talking about being a fighter who throws a lot of combinations and takes punches and gives punches, and is tough and will keep on walking you down till you are ground into the dust, catch you in the corner and wail on you. That kind of Mexican style. But Canelo told everybody, including some Mexican fans who say they hate him, the Mexican style involves so many different styles. And Canelo is more calculated, more systematic, more precise, more accurate, more surgical in how he proceeds with things. And people don't like that. They like the Canelo that fought Angulo. They like the Canelo that fought James Kirkland. They like the Canelo that crashed Rocky Fielding. That's the Canelo they want. But the Canelo that pot shots, throws 1 or 2 punches, has high accuracy, but low throughput. Not throwing a whole bunch of punches. I've heard people in the Triple G's fight saying Canelo is not throwing enough because he's Mexican. Because he's not walking down his opponent but fighting off the back foot. He's losing the fight. Stereotypes that Canelo has broken. Like Floyd, who broke the mold. That boxer who boxed in the ring is a runner. That he'll be caught by an aggressive pressure fighter and finally beaten up and stopped. A lot of people believe that. I remember Oscar De La Hoya versus Darrell Coley. Coley, an excellent boxer. Stick and move. Got stopped by Oscar. They always feel that the guy that sticks and moves is weak. He's not strong. He's a runner. He's a coward. And Floyd typified a coward because he said racist statements about Manny Pacquiao. Get him some rice, sushi, or some shit like that. Floyd started it. This comment, which turned into a big racist rant by both sides. So I'm not saying that Canelo is not to blame for certain things. I'm not saying that Canelo and Floyd are not to blame for certain things. They definitely are, 100%. But people need to separate what goes on inside the ring from what their antics and what they do, and even the decisions that they get inside and outside the ring. And the phenomenon of these two guys is amazing. But this is what I wanted to point out. And when you're doing things so well, a lot of people thought that Kovalev would knock out Canelo. A lot of people said Canelo, he doesn't have the power to knock out Kovalev. Those of us who knew what we were dealing with Kovalev knew that Canelo could knock him out. And it was custom made for Canelo. Of course, Kovalev surprised me by showing that not only could he protect his body, but he could box and pivot, and move, and change levels, and occupy his opponent. Even though Canelo kept his cool and composure, and continued to break down Kovalev in stages and steps, ripping shots to the body, and always catching him with the left hook to the head. The punch, the penultimate punch that put him away. When you think about the fact that Mayweather was seen as a guy that Pacquiao could beat, and everybody that get into the ring with him who Mayweather picked could knock him out. A lot of people pray and hope that Canelo will get knocked out. They pray and hope that somebody will have the power to stop him. And that's a hope and a prayer. Because these kinds of boxers are not reckless. They're calculated. They make calculated decisions. Unlike Roy Jones Jr., who was very talented, very skilled, out of this world in terms of skills and talents, and a certain degree of smarts. But as soon as his talent wear down, he was history. Canelo has a style that can last as long as Canelo wants to fight. Canelo can go almost any weight class and fight. At least, well, bigger weight class. He can't go lower weight classes, but bigger weight class. He could go all the way up to heavyweight if he wanted to. He would not be stopped. He would not be knocked out. Because Canelo has that fundamental thing that Bernard Hopkins, Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, El Finito Lopez have. James Toney, Pernell Whitaker. He has what we call defense. And he adapts his style to his opponent and adjusts his defense. And he also is a smart fighter that can adapt to anything you bring to him in the ring. He's an understudy of Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather will never say anything bad. He knows firsthand what Canelo is. But One of the things I wanted to discuss that Showbiz the adults stated that I thought needed to be elaborated on was this. It's not just the perfection of these guys and the incidents where it seems as though they have favor that nobody else can have that makes these guys separate from everyone else. No, it's not just their skills. It's not just how the business of boxing deals with them. It's one more thing. And it even irrates the fans of these boxers. It's when these boxers, the fans present a fighter to them. Say, this is the fighter we want you to face now. And instead they give you what you don't want to see. Another fighter out of the clear blue sky that they decide to face. A lot of times we want to say they're ducking. A lot of times we want to be angry with them. Mayweather says he wants to give you exciting fights, then he gives you a beautiful chess match. But it's not quite exciting like other fights in boxing. Canelo says he wants to please the fans. He says to the fans, whatever you want, whatever opponent you want, let me know. And then he fights somebody else. Though the fans resoundingly say Demetrius Andrade. Will Canelo come around to facing Demetrius Andrade? More than likely, yes. As well as Jamal Charlo. But then he flies in the face of the fans and says that Demetrius Andrade is boring. Now, he doesn't have a marquee win on his resume. Is that a reason to not to face Demetrius Andrade and unify the division? When you faced Rocky Fielding? Who the fuck is Rocky Fielding? When you faced Liam Williams or Liam Walsh? I can't remember which one it is. Oh, Liam Smith, I think it is. Liam Smith? I mean, you're talking about marquee names and you're facing guys and you're totally contradicting yourself. And Floyd did the same thing. And it annoys the fans to no end. I'm talking about fans of Canelo. And then you got those stupid brain-dead fans who are brainwashed into believing this guy can do no wrong. For real. And then guys like me, who are fans of Canelo, but try to look with a straight face and really see a straight view of things, and Floyd Mayweather, when we are criticizing these guys, but at the same time, we're also praising them for their attributes. Both sides of the aisle, the fanatical Canelo fans say that we're haters, and the haters say that we are fanatical Canelo fans. They lump us in. And we stand there in bewilderment, watching the truth drowned out in stupidity and argument and debate. On a boxing forum, I was showing people how Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., because a lot of people, again, think I hate the past greats. Not a chance. Not a chance. But what I do is I mirror the criticisms that we have for the present greats with the past greats. So they say Canelo, he's fighting cherry picks. He faced Kovalev. He faced Rocky Fielding. He faced old Triple G. Danny Jacobs really wasn't all that good. That's why Canelo faced him. So I put up on Facebook a comparison of 29-year-old Chavez and 29-year-old Canelo. And in the 29th year, Canelo faced the following people: Danny Jacobs and Sergey Kovalev. In Chavez's 29th year, he faced Mildred Taylor and a ton load of bums, one after the other. I'm talking guys with failing records, unsanctioned fights, 4, 5, 6 of them after Mildred Taylor. But they will give Julio Cesar Chavez a pass. He's the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. But they'll shit on Canelo. Now, obviously, Julio Cesar Chavez, he has his reasons for doing what he's doing. He's trying to stay sharp, stay busy, right? But there were other world champions at the same time in his division. There was champions such as Koji. There was champions such as Hector Camacho. They were reigning champions at the time. Hector Camacho being the WBO champion. Koji being the WBA champion. Julio Cesar Chavez had the IBF and the WBC belts because Mildred Taylor he just beat, who was the IBF champion. Why didn't he go and unify with those other champions? Instead of having these stay busy fights, he could have had 2 unifications in the year 1990. And in 1991, he could have had another unification. Instead, he was defending his title against guys who were not worthy to be in the ring with him. So he would stop them in 1 to 2 rounds. And you ask yourself, why couldn't he do that in sparring and then have these guys facing? But nobody puts the scrutiny on Julio Cesar Chavez, even though Julio Cesar Chavez is a Canelo fan right now. We talk about our asterisks on Canelo's resume, but we don't talk about the asterisks on the greats of the past. And then they say I'm tearing down the past greats. Am I? What are you doing to the present greats? I'm only mirroring what you're doing. Boxing fans who hate Canelo, I'm only mirroring what you do. You're trying to pick apart and pick fault with Canelo Alvarez and his resume. So why can't I not pick apart and pick fault with Julio Cesar Chavez to open your eyes to realize, hey, stop doing that. Be fair. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is a hell of a fighter, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a hell of a fighter. Everybody shits on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He was weight trained against Canelo. He fought all the way up to light heavyweight from middleweight. 3 weight classes, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody gives him props for that. Everybody wants to go in on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. because he had a couple losses. Why do we do this as fans? So I'm just saying, and I'm agreeing with SHOWBIZZ the adult, that the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, is getting a lot of hate. It comes with the territory. But I'm just saying, a lot of it is unmerited. At least when I hate on Triple G, I hate with merits. And I tell you again, I admire him as a person. And I actually admire certain things about his boxing style. I like that he's determined, not just he's tough as nails, but he's mentally tough. That he'll walk through anything. And he's a fighter. Raul Ramirez. Shout out to Raul Ramirez. Thank you for hailing me out, brother. I tell you guys I'm a Canelo fan. I'm not going to play with that. I'm telling you I am a Floyd Mayweather Jr. fan. I definitely am. But let's not think that they're immune from criticism. And at the same time, let's not unfairly criticize them. This is all I'm saying. Tangible Boxing says, I miss Larry Merchant. He was so senile and slow that he was hilarious. There were certain things that he said was really funny. They followed up on him where he said, if I was 50 years younger, I'd kick your ass, to Floyd Mayweather. So he said, Larry Merchant, if you were 50 years younger, would you really have kicked Floyd Mayweather's ass? He said, I'll creep up behind him when he's not looking. That's kind of hard to do because Floyd's always aware of his surroundings. But Intangible Boxing says, also, Mayweather Manfredi was not stopped prematurely. Manfredi could have died. Nah. He was defending himself. Go and watch it again. He crashed him, and yes, he was beating him up, pounding him like a rag doll for a second, and then Manfredi put up his 2-guard, and he was getting hit on the gloves. Some of the punches. I don't know if the fight went on further. He probably might have gotten killed. You might be right, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Floyd probably would have put him down 2 or 3 more times, and that would have been it. The referee would have called it off. But I thought it was prematurely stopped. Not that it's a bad thing, but just that I thought so. And Manfredi thought so too. Was Floyd still going to crash his ass? Probably. Floyd was just so much better than him. So anyway, my point anyway is not that I'm trying to deify these guys. I don't worship no man. But I like to highlight the good things in them. What I want to do is highlight the good things in Triple G as well as game, as well as all the boxers that are elite. And that will take a while to do, but I think I might do that just so people will have an appreciation for the pros and cons of the present fighters. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a piece also on the past greats and their pros and cons. You know, Thomas the Hitman Hearns was a hell of a fighter. Uh, hell of a fighter. But sometimes he would not follow the game plan properly. In the case of Marvin Hagler, he should have won that fight. He was way faster than Hagler. He had decent enough power to mash up Hagler's face. All he had to do was keep his composure, like Sugar Ray Leonard did, not put too much mustard on all his punches to wear himself out, and box Hagler around the ring. Didn't do that. He went for the gusto. Exciting fight, but got himself stopped because he got hit with body punches he shouldn't have gotten hit with. Kovalev did a much better job than Thomas Hearns against a Hagler-like character of Canelo. Canelo was much more systematic, not as aggressive as Marvin Hagler, but still at the same time, you know, you saw that Raul Ramirez said no one could outbox Thomas Hearns, not even Ray Leonard. Then why did he make the stupid decision to brawl with Hagler? Why did he do that? It showed he wasn't very smart. He wasn't boxing smart, you know, and he could box. Thomas Hearns could box. It was really stupid what he did. He lost a fight he could have won. Easy. Because Marvin Hagler wasn't the fast fighter. He wasn't quick. He'd go toe-to-toe with guys and grind them down. He'd get to the inside. He couldn't touch Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard, I mean, he did touch him to the body. But what I mean is, and Sugar Ray Leonard had a good core. That's why he managed to survive. But I'm just saying that then it boxed him. Box rings around him. Hagler was slow as fuck. I believe Thomas Hearns could beat Canelo at middleweight. Yeah, sure. He had a long wingspan. But again, if Canelo keeps his composure, stay behind his defense, walk Hearns down, you know, land those shots to the body where it is. We saw it with Marvin Hagler. We saw what Marvin Hagler could do. Canelo's a hell of a lot faster than Marvin Hagler. Sharper than Marvin Hagler. Probably carry as much power as Marvin Hagler. I think that Canelo at middleweight, I think Canelo stops Thomas Hearns at middleweight. I think he stops him. If Thomas Hearns boxed smart, and he got to box smart though. And when I talk about box smart, I mean box smart. I mean, Kovalev did some things in there that Thomas Hearns did not do. I will explain what I mean. So, one of the things Kovalev did, I'm going to show y'all. I have to demonstrate it. This is why I said Kovalev actually surprised me. He really surprised me because he did some stuff that I didn't know he was capable of doing. Okay. You go orthodox. So Kovalev, he would do something like this, right? Right. But also, Kovalev had beautiful footwork. He could skip. So sometimes he'd do like this. Again, it's how you angle off. And whereas Thomas Hearns, he more go for a walk, circle out, and then come back in like here, right? That's what Thomas Hearns would do. Kovalev, on the other hand, he did something like what Canelo do. He would be pivoting this way, and then he just shuffle back this way, and then he pivot back this way, and then he come back this way, and then he come back this way. I love that. I didn't know Kovalev could do that. What it does is it kind of offsets your opponent. Because if you're circling the ring, going clockwise around your opponent, and then you decide to shuffle back this way. But you're shuffling back like this. It's in an arc. You shuffle back this way, and then you go back that way. And you shuffle back again, and you go back. What he does is he's getting Canelo to move away from the center of the ring. I'm pulling him to me so that then I can pivot back out. When he comes in to attack me, I can just roll out on him. And I thought that was beautiful what Kovalev was doing. I thought that was just so smart. Because one of the things you want to do when a guy is pressure fighting you and you want to circle back to the center of the ring, the first thing you got to do is draw them away from the center of the ring. You got to draw them to you. So sometimes Kovalev, he never goes straight back, but he always take 2 steps back, right? You saw Shakur Stevenson doing that, but from the southpaw stance. So when Joet Gonzalez advanced 1 step, he take 2 steps back, right? Well, Kovalev did the same did the same thing, but off of a pivot. So he would do like this, and then do like this, and pivot away, right? But sometimes he would do like this, pivot away, and then come right back here, shuffle right back here. He do like this, and then pivot back away again, shuffle right back here. Now all he was doing was drawing. Hold on 1 second. Hello. Yeah, so that's a nice little move that you don't really see it every day, but it's a nice little move that sometimes they do to draw the opponent in. So what happens is when the opponent closes the gap, then you can pivot out and circle back to the center of the ring, or you can clinch them up, lock them up, and turn them. One of the things Thomas Hearns didn't do also, when Hagler would get him in the corner and he would clinch up Marvin Hagler, he wouldn't turn Marvin Hagler. He wouldn't turn him and go back to the center of the ring. So all of these little things I picked up that Hearns wasn't doing, but Sugar Ray Leonard was doing. I could see Thomas Hearns winning a split decision in that fight with Canelo. I mean, man, there's all kinds of little things in boxing. There's all these little nuances that people don't pick up, and one of them is the feint. Feint as if you're going to come in and you stay right on the borderline, you stay right on the boundary. When the guy least expected, you start bobbing and weaving coming on the inside. Hearns would come with an uppercut to try and keep you on the outside, but if you get past that by bobbing and weaving, and you get to the inside, right, you land your combination, you pivot off, or you side pivot the guy, you inside pivot the guy, or side pivot the guy, and you land your punches to the body or the solar plexus or the liver or whatever. Or you circle out to the other side and you land a solar plexus punch, and then probably a liver punch or a spleen punch. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, and Canelo is the guy that can do them all. But he's very, very precise with what he does. Like, he's not wild and reckless. He's not trying to just do it with veracity and all of that. He has a systematic way of doing things, where he uses just a minimal amount of energy. So I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So Thomas Hearns popping that jab. Wow, it's a nice, powerful down jab. He does like this. He kind of reaches out, right? So he's popping that jab, right? Nice, powerful jab. He's popping it. He's pivoting. And if you get past the jab, right? Right? You got to do the uppercut, right? Uppercut or left hook, right? Right? Okay. That's what Thomas Hearns has. Canelo. Leaning in. Blocking everything. Boop. Boop. The jab. Pop. He's blocking the jab. He's inching in. Right? Swivel. Okay. Testing Thomas Hearns. Testing the range. Right? And he's coming in off an angle. So that's how you walk down Thomas Hearns. So Thomas Hearns keeps on boxing him on the outside, trying to hook him on the outside, pop the jab, torch, lead right, whop, whop, pow, whop, right? He's popping the lead right and stuff. And Canelo just keep on using the gloves. Boop, boop. Right? Thomas Hearns tries to advance, Canelo backs off. Right? So that's how you get mental pressure. Slowly, he's grinding you down. He's taking his time, systematically breaking you down, walking you down. Systematic. Not like those boxers like Angulo, and they would just walk and come in. He's not coming like this. Directly at you. He's not coming like that. Okay? Systematically coming at you. Inching in. He's systematic in how he does this thing. See? Because most pressure fighters, they take punches, pop, 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 and they still keep coming. Canelo's not that kind of fighter. He's very systematic, very precise head movement. You know? He's going to bob and weave. He dips down low, comes up on top. If you're coming with the uppercut, you dip below the uppercut. Or he feint to the side, so you come with the uppercut, and then boom! You know, he rips that spear jab up in there. So it's just different with Canelo. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And then he's very quick with the counter punches. So you've got to get your hands back in position. So when you systematically walking a guy down, you saw Gennady Golovkin's kind of systematic himself, but Canelo's just on a whole other level with defense. And I thought Kovalev did a great job of handling Canelo, even though he was still getting hit with body punches. He was still getting broken down. That's why he tired. Of course, the rehydration clause kind of contributed to that as well. But he was being broken down. Canelo was still landing combinations, but Canelo was doing it in a systematic way. And he was taking his time. He knew it was inevitable, so he was taking his time, working him out, softening him up for when he was ready to take him out. Okay, very systematic. That's a whole other level of fighting. So because of that, a lot of people hate Canelo because, you know, a lot of people, some people are saying, oh, Canelo's going to stop him. And we're looking at how many times has you said that Canelo was no, this one's different. He's going to stop him, right? It just so happened that Kovalev had better defense than I anticipated. But Canelo had the patience. One of the things that a lot of great boxers of the past and even of the present time, they don't have is composure. Being able to keep your composure, being able to understand it's going to be what it's going to be, and taking your time and breaking your opponent down. Not a lot of fighters can do that, but Canelo is one of those. He's got that kind of mindset. And even guys like Pernell Whitaker and Sugar Ray Leonard, they were a little bit more excitable. And they, you know, well, of course, Pernell was a wizard in the corners, but Ray wasn't much of a wizard in the corner. He still got tagged in the corners. But he's still a pretty good boxer. I mean, he was a great boxer. Because he picked off shots as well. Raul Ramirez says, I envision Thomas touching Canelo with the jab if Canelo's not slipping, but he could also be very reluctant due to the counterpunching. Yep. Canelo uses, he comes off the defense pretty sweet. But he has the insane reach advantage, including the height. Reach advantage don't mean nothing. I told you, you have to cut the angles. It's about cutting angles. How did Canelo get to Kovalev? How was he landing his punches on Kovalev? He was falling short at certain times because Kovalev was pivoting out of the way. But how did he get to him? How did he close that distance? You realize what he did? And the kryptonite for Thomas Hearns is the high guard, the two guard. That's how Sugar Ray Leonard got him the first time. And he wasn't doing a perfect two guard either. Thomas is the outboxing in that fight. Canelo will need to apply tactical pressure and not get punished like Hagler did. He's not going to get punished like Hagler did. Hagler's way slower, 1. 2, Canelo's going to be using the high guard. Like I said, it's not easy. Thomas Hearns has heavy hands and power and all of that. No doubt about that. But then Kovalev did too. But Kovalev was hesitant to throw his power, right? Because you know Canelo going to go to that body. Jay Homie Maz HD. I love your channel, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Raul Ramirez 17 says Ray Leonard versus Canelo at middleweight will be great as well. Now that's a good fight. I still got Canelo beating Ray Leonard. I had Oscar De La Hoya beating Ray Leonard. Leonard get hit too easy. He got hit too much. You saw Kovalev throw a ton of punches at Canelo. How many punches did Kovalev actually land on Canelo? Think about it. How many punches in the fight did Kovalev actually land on Canelo? He wasn't landing much of anything. Canelo was doing more of the landing, right? Think about what I'm saying. Now, think about this. Sugar Ray Leonard had to fight Donnie Lalonde in the catchweight. Donnie Lalonde was known for his big left hook. He wasn't no Kovalev. You get what I'm saying? Think about what I'm saying. Donnie Lalonde wasn't no Kovalev. In fact, the guy of the division at the time, I think, was Michael Spinks. Sugar Ray Leonard didn't want to fuck with Michael Spinks. I think it was Michael Spinks. It was somebody. I can't remember who. I'll actually check. Oh, it could have been the guy with the Muslim name. All right. So if Sugar Ray Leonard got knocked down by Donnie Lalonde, and the only reason why Donnie Lalonde lost that fight was because he was weight drained. He had to make 168, coming down from 175. Down the stretch, you know you're going to fade. That's how Leonard got back in the fight. Right? Now, everybody praises Leonard for beating Donnie Lalonde, but everybody don't praise Canelo for beating Kovalev. Just that Canelo was more control. It wasn't as exciting a fight as Ray Leonard versus Donnie Lalonde, because Ray Leonard got knocked down and he had to fight and he had to, it was very exciting because both fighters were flawed to some degree. Lalonde could take Leonard's punches more than Leonard could take Lalonde's, right? But of course, look at what Canelo did to Kovalev, man. What would Canelo have done to Donnie Lalonde? Well, first of all, if he had faced him at light heavyweight, he would neutralize Donnie Lalonde's left hook, because Donnie Lalonde's bread and butter was his left hook. He had a hell of a left hook. So he would have neutralized that. Then the usual thing that Canelo does, he'll work the body where it's available. Lalonde didn't protect his body very well, and that's where Sugar Ray Leonard went. He went to the body, wore him down. So Canelo would be doing that. And a full-fledged Donnie Lalonde versus Canelo Alvarez, I still see Canelo Alvarez beating up Donnie Lalonde to the body. Not stopping him, because Donnie Lalonde too fucking big for that. Just like it wasn't known, at least Donnie Lalonde wasn't known for being weak to the body. So I see Canelo beating him up to the body and getting the decision on him. And Lalonde not even touching Canelo. You saw how it was a shutout with Kovalev in terms of Kovalev. Kovalev was busy throwing jabs. He wasn't landing a lot of jabs, right? He's keeping Canelo off of him. Well, Lalonde will be in that mindset eventually, because every time you throw a jab or you throw your power shot, like your left hook or your jab, and Canelo punishes you, he counters you and punishes you to the body, you're going to get more and more hesitant to throw. Of course, Canelo has better defense than Leonard. Of course. Like I said before, Leonard gets hit a lot. Donnie Lalonde knocked down Sugar Ray Leonard. Did Kovalev knock down Canelo? Did he knock down Canelo? And Canelo's walking to him. So if I'm walking to you, my defense has got to be tighter than if I'm just I'm moving away from you. Canelo have a hell of a defense. Hell of a defense. Yeah, he had tighter defense than... He has better defense than Sugar Ray Leonard. Leonard gets hit too easily. And he throws unique combinations. Leonard was throwing left-right combinations. Canelo throwing not just left-right combinations. He throws combinations to the body and to the head. He mixes it up. Yeah, Canelo's a better fighter than Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, he is. And he's proving it. He's proving it by facing guys significantly bigger than him. Yeah, Ray Leonard was pretty good on the ropes against guys like Hagler. He did pretty okay. But he still had to fight off the ropes because he still got hit. So he would fight off the ropes. He didn't stay calm, keep his composure like Canelo did. Don't even have to throw no shots. You just be missing him like James Stoney. He just be there. He doing the Matrix on your ass. You be throwing punches at him and just not landing. I remember in the first Triple G fight, how Canelo went back to the ropes. He just went and chilled by the ropes. On Triple G, he just went back to the ropes and said, come on, Triple G, throw some punches. You could tell he was practicing his defense on Triple G. That looks so crazy. Triple G teeing off shots and just hitting nothing but air and arms. Yeah, no. Canelo's at a whole other level, man. He keeps his composure. Leonard was excitable. When he went around, he raised his hands and like, yeah, what around? Like, he's excitable. You gotta keep your composure all the way through. Leonard was good. He was a darling and everything, but I think people just don't understand what Floyd and Canelo bring to the table, and Pernell Whitaker. These guys and Andre Ward, these guys bring a whole other level to the table, man. Just a whole other level of boxing. But people just don't understand because it's not as exciting as Sugar Ray Leonard's fights. It's not as exciting. But it's definitely the sweet science. So I think a lot of people feel that Leonard would have smoked Floyd. I'm laughing about that. I'm like, shh, you have no idea how good Floyd is, do you? You have no idea. Raul Ramirez says, I can't lie. Canelo's amazing on the ropes. And if we're being honest, I haven't seen that since Floyd. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He's just comfortable on the ropes. He fighting in the center of the ring. He's comfortable in the center of the ring. He's comfortable on the ropes. He's comfortable circling you going backwards. And he's not running. He's just taking steps. He's taking what we call box steps. He's pivoting, going where he's going. Every now and then he take a little jog. He go boop, boop, boop. And then he continues to keep on pivoting around you. It's crazy. It's crazy what this motherfucker can do. Yeah. People just don't understand. They just don't understand. Leonard don't do that shit. Leonard used to, like, against Hagler, he would bounce around the ring like Muhammad Ali style. So he bounced around the ring. Canelo do the pivoting. I don't know if he studied Floyd or if his Reynoso and them really schooled him well, but he really knows the boxing shit, man. He's a whole different beast. And he's stopping people. Very systematic. Eddie Reynoso and Shepard did an excellent job with that kid. And he's only 29. Shit. You understand what I'm saying? He's only 29. He's a seasoned veteran, but he hasn't reached his peak. He hasn't reached his true potential. He hasn't reached his full knowledge of boxing yet. He's still learning. That's some shit right there. People don't get it, man. This new breed, this new generation is on a whole other level to the past ones. That's why I know Floyd will be surpassed sooner than we think. Roy Jones, perceived by many as the GOAT, couldn't even fight off the ropes. Exactly. He'd shell up, and if you catch him right, you knock his fucking ass out. And what he would do is flurry again, like Sugar Ray Leonard. He'd flurry off the ropes. That's how he get off the ropes if you pin him too much. That's not what Canelo do. James Toney didn't do that shit. Floyd Mayweather didn't do that shit. They comfortable on the ropes. They can stay there all day. Counterpunch your ass just off the ropes if they wanted to. And whenever they want to, they step to the center of the ring, and your ass gonna go to the center of the ring with them. That's just the way it is. I'm not even exaggerating right now. This is just the truth. They literally dictate everything. I was listening to Sean Porter. He was saying that, he has to have fast hands with Canelo and good footwork to be able to. And like the only Hercules heel that Canelo has, and apparently it's not a Hercules heel anymore, is Canelo. When he has to go get you, when he has to go find you, he doesn't always necessarily like that. But I see now he's doing seek and destroy mode, where he's got a systematic way now to walk you down, and he's very patient. If Roy rematched Tony in the early 2000s, James would have won. Yeah. He would beat him. Even though I saw James Tony get beat by Reggie Miller, I think it is, or Reggie something. I can't remember what his name was. It was Reggie Miller. Anyways, people, that's what I got for today. The day is almost gone. It's 1:20 something. I'm going by my cousin Reggie Johnson. That's the name. Yeah, Reggie Johnson. I'm going by my family. I just got a call. They told me that some families in the country right now, and I need to go see them. So I'm going to go see them. It's impromptu, but I got to go see them. And what else I got to do? I got to drink some water, rehydrate myself, take care of my body, I'm going to catch you guys later, man. Much love and peace to you guys. I got to go shave and neaten up as well. I'm so scrappy. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.